Wow, I'm excited about it.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. KFI.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, the mask will handle here. It is a February 15th, mid-February. Well, not quite. We have 28 days. And probably didn't know that, did you? God, do I know this stuff, but I'm in the news business. Handle here and the morning crew. More handle on the news, Jennifer and Wayne and me. What's story 8?
Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. That's totally on me. The judge says he's going to dismiss Sarah Palin's libel suit against the New York Times, and this is as deliberations are now underway. How does this work?
It's something called judgment notwithstanding the jury. The judge can say even after a jury has decided there wasn't enough evidence or the facts were such that the jury cannot reasonably make a decision.
What if the jury said, hey, we made a decision?
Well, usually that's the case, but a judge can overturn. The judge can overturn that.
Yeah. He'll say, thank you, very nice, you did a good job, but I'm dismissing the case.
Yeah.
But he wants to let the jury come back, so when it goes inevitably to the appeals court, he thinks it'll be helpful to the appeals court to know which side the jury felt was more persuasive.
Yeah, but it's rare. Yeah. But it does happen. It happens in criminal cases, too. Jury comes back guilty, and the judge says, nah, you know what? There wasn't enough evidence here to convict.
Yeah, I think he's right. In fact, I was thinking about this when I saw this article. She's saying, you defamed me, or libeled me, because you published this editorial, and in the editorial you said that a political action committee put out this map with the crosshairs on certain Democratic candidates, and of course that was not true. The crosshairs were on the districts. It's very different.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, but here's the thing.
And there was no connection.
But how is she defamed?
That's the point.
It's almost like maybe the political action committee was defamed. How is she defamed? Because they mischaracterized something that she did not create.
Also,
or did she? Because
they don't know, but there was no evidence.
The point directly involved in a political action
but the point is there was no evidence. The same thing is going to happen with President Trump. He didn't say a word about going into and storming the Capitol. He said, let's just show them, go up there, and how are you going to connect the criminal act to what the president said? You can't. You never will. And so we're along those same grounds. Also, how do you sue for group libel? Who do you go after with an entire group? What do you do?
I guess you do this.
I guess you do.
The accounting firm that has handled former President Trump's finances for a long time has cut ties with him, and they've issued a statement saying to anyone who might receive financial disclosures from the former president for the years 2011 through 2020, don't rely on them because they're not reliable. And this is all wrapped up with the New York Attorney General's office investigating.
By the way, if you've ever had anything audited, the auditor comes with the audited report saying this is based on financial information that the client produced. And that's all we can go on. And that's in every single audit report. And so they said, you can't, there's no way, so we're out of it. And the Trump organization says, that's wrong. That's not correct. You still are in it, I guess.
Well, you can't make them stay in it. No, because what happened is now that they feel that the information he gave them was not reliable, they have a non-waivable conflict of interest with him. Obviously, they can't continue.
All right, remember the story.
By the way, that was a joke. You're still in it. Okay.
There was that aspiring actor who had this Ponzi scheme, and it was worth like $650 million, where he got more than 250 people to invest in what they thought would be finance distribution rights for movies that would run on HBO and Netflix. Well, that guy now has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for that $650 million Ponzi scheme.
And ordered to pay $230 million, which is interesting because out of $650 million, does he still keep $400 million? theoretically.
Well, I'm going to guess, since it was a Ponzi scheme, he brought in 650 and he paid out
back, yeah.
420 in lulling payments.
Of course he did. Now, I have a question about this and a statement. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get money for films? It is almost impossible to raise money for films.
Then how'd this guy do it?
Yeah, that's the question. How do you raise $650 million?
From 250 people.
It's just, and there isn't, it's not like Ivan Reitman. It's not like James Cameron saying, hey, I got a movie, and everybody jumps aboard. This is, like a third-grade actor here. And he was able to do it. And when we talk about a Ponzi scheme, $650 million, I'm assuming that's the maximum you could have gotten on this, Wayne. I mean, I can't imagine a judge knocking off a month on this.
No, I'm sure his starting guidelines were through the roof, too. The thing is, this reminds me of hackers. Like, hackers get caught hacking, and then later they come back as security consultants. In other words, they're really good at what they did. They just did it for evil. And this guy, with those skills to entice people to invest, any studio, any production house would love to have him on board legitimately. They're going to have to wait 85% of 20 years now, though.
Coming up, we finish Handle on the News on this Tuesday morning. But Jennifer, you have some news to share.
Orange County's bus drivers are expected to go on strike. The driver's contract expired last year, and the union says they haven't had a raise since May of 2020. Novak Djokovic says he is prepared to skip the French Open and Wimbledon if vaccinations against COVID-19 are required for him to play. And the world's richest man is parting with more of his money. There's a filing with the SEC that shows Tesla CEO Elon Musk donated nearly $6 billion to charity. From the HMS Capitol Weather Center, mostly cloudy and windy with a chance of showers, highs from the mid-50s to the low 60s. This report is brought to you by the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places like the 605.
Excuse me. You betcha. Driving towards industry now, southbound 605, a little bit past the 10 before Valley Boulevard. Crash in lanes, unfortunately, persons hurt, and a whole bunch of activity. Fire department, CHP, everybody's there to check, so be careful. It's getting slow from Ramona, including the transitions now, east and west 10 to the south 605. And be very careful going into Burbank now. Just got a word of this. If you head to St. Joe's or Warner Brothers, westbound, 134 Buena Vista. Pickup truck lost a wheel. That's not a good thing. Sitting on the left side of the freeway, maybe the carpool lane. Be careful approaching. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
I want to save you some of the headaches and hassles of selling your home. All you have to do is so simple. Just go to opendoor.com. I don't want you to have to do all those repairs yourself. Or I don't want to have you prepping the house for all those walkthroughs and showings. See, when you go to opendoor.com, you'll find it's the new way to sell a house. You just answer some really simple questions about your home. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms? Then Open Door will take that information, compare it to other homes in the neighborhood. When I went through the process, it took just minutes for me to get a real competitive offer on my home. So sell your home the new-fashioned way. I like to call it the stress-free way at opendoor.com/KFI. Offer eligibility varies. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage, LLC in its other markets. Sell your home the new-fashioned way at opendoor.com/KFI.
Attention I-10 freeway drivers. Freeway and ramp closures are coming up for the I-10 Express Lanes project. Don't get stuck. For dates and detours, visit GoSBCTA.com. That's GoSBCTA.com for more information on the I-10 Express Lanes project. This report is sponsored by Norm Reeves Honda Superstore. Take charge at Norm Reeves Honda Superstore during the Norm Reeves President's Day event, going on all month long. Choose from a super selection of new and pre-owned Hondas, or reserve your model of choice from their incoming shipments. Shop online at normreeves.com.
Springer Investors owners, listen to this. Tired of waiting for a service appointment and paying too much? Check out our brand new Fletcher Jones Fan Center in Costa Mesa. We're offering a better service value with no wait appointments and extended hours for your convenience. And as part of the Fletcher Jones family of dealerships, your customer experience will always be second to none. Visit fjvans.com or stop on in. Mention this ad and the first 100 customers will receive a free oil change. The new Fletcher Jones Van Center, Costa Costa Mesa, keeping your work van working.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp announcing the WDC Kitchen and Bath Center President's Day sale. Up to 45% off select appliance name brands. Up to 70% off plumbing fixture clearance items. Save up to $800 off select adjustable mattress sets from Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, or Stearns & Foster. And with the help of Progressive Leasing, you can lease to own your appliance. To find the award-winning WDC showroom nearest you, go to WDCappliances.com.
As parents, we've done everything we can to keep our kids safe, happy, and healthy during this pandemic. From finding the best face masks to making sure their hands are clean. And now we have the best tool to help keep them even safer. The most important thing we can do is vaccinate our kids to protect them against COVID-19. Vaccines have been proven safe and effective for children 5 and up. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This is Leland Smith from Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC. When it comes to tune-up and repairs, you might think that all technicians are about the same, aren't they? They go to heating and air conditioning school, then they show up on your doorstep to service your unit. What could go wrong? Well, a lot. Your heating and cooling system is one of the most advanced appliances in your home. If they aren't 100% up to speed, you could be in for a long, expensive ordeal. At Service Champions, we require 150 hours per year of ongoing training for all of our technicians, regardless of their experience. A 25-year veteran sits in the class twice a week, right alongside a second-year apprentice, so we can service your system right the first time. Call Service Champions today to schedule an $88 precision tune-up. Our number is 833-777-7777 or at servicechampions.com.
Service Champions, plumbing, heating, AC, and
At Ralph's, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we'd want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
You know what I don't like? The guy at the end of his life smoked for 50 years, and he's like, I wish I'd never smoked. Like, really? You enjoyed him for 50 years.
But it's an addiction, and it's not easy for people to quit. How did you quit?
Because I'm a quitter. The Tim Conway Jr. Show. Not that good, not that committed to anything.
Weeknights at 6 on KFI.
AM 640 Handle here on a Tuesday morning, February 15th, as we continue on Handle on the news, Jennifer, Wayne, and me.
A former Marine captain has been sentenced to 210 years for, well, the headline says sex tourism in Cambodia, but I don't think that phrase really gets at all the horror. This is a guy who moved to Cambodia for a while, was working as a teacher, and lived there. And apparently, you know, the economy is so bad for some people, parents would sell their little kids to him for $30 a month. And he would take them to his place where he lived, drug them, tie them up, beat them, rape them. And there doesn't seem to be any question that all of that happened. His defense was, ready for this? We have a law in the United States that says if you travel abroad to do things like this, you can be prosecuted. And his defense was, I was not living in the United States. I was living in Cambodia. That was my home. Therefore, this law can't apply to me. Because it only applies to people who are living in the United States who travel abroad.
You know what? It's a defense. This is where that's what lawyers get paid to do.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. But that is, I think that's the only defense he could come up with. It's a pretty good one, actually. And thank goodness it didn't work.
All right, there's a mayor in Ohio, in this tiny little town about 30 miles southeast of Cleveland, who has resigned after he made national headlines last week for saying allowing ice fishing would lead to prostitution. Because he said that basically somebody could say, I want a shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time. So these little shanties where you ice fish would then be places where you could hire a prostitute. And he said that would lead to the... Well,
no, it's great. It's great. And my only question is, how do you keep your ass from freezing?
He said, my attempt to inject a bit of dry humor to make a point about this in the midst of a cold, snowy February was grossly misunderstood.
Oh, he was not trying to be droll.
No,
because this is the same guy who said one time that there was a book, a creative writing textbook that was being used in high school that had child pornography in it. And, of course, it did not have any child pornography in it, and I don't know what the joke was with that comment or with this comment. He's just a crazy person. But he has stepped down. You know, they're running Friends now, the show Friends in China. It's the first, I guess, new running of the show in a long time, like new debut in a new format. So they're running around different streaming services, and they are editing and censoring the heck out of the thing. Anything about sex, anything about drugs, anything about homosexuality gets taken right out and changed. So, for example, an episode where Joey tells Ross to go to a strip joint, well, the Chinese subtitle says that he tells him to just go out to play. Then there's the episode where Ross says that women can have multiple orgasms. So they put for the line, women have endless gossip. Look, you can't have, it's on and on and on. I mean, that's just two examples of what they're doing over there.
You can't have orgasms in China. You're just not allowed to.
You can't have orgasms. You can't have marijuana. You can't be gay. Oh, because wasn't Ross's ex-wife a lesbian?
Yeah.
No, well, she's not in the Chinese.
No. But how do they
because they can.
Every, though, episode of Friends has to do with sex.
Pretty much. That's what I'm saying. It's a completely... If you watch that show... It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
And they, by the way, people in China, they know that this is happening, and they're like, this is terrible. Why are they doing this?
My question is on all of this stuff, how does it translate culturally into other countries where you have no idea where it comes from and what anything means? And then you have the subtitles, which skew it all anyway. So I just don't understand watching that stuff. But then again, that's Chinese opera. I don't know if you've ever understood Chinese opera. It looks, sounds like a cat has been attacked, with a fork. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Wow. That's true. Listen to Chinese opera sometimes. It's a different culture. It's what people appreciate.
Mm-hmm. All right. Researchers at Cornell wanted to see if we literally watched the TV commercials from the Super Bowl. So they tracked the eyeballs of 1,155 households across 4 million TV ads over the course of the year. What did they find? Nearly a third of all commercials played to an empty room.
Makes sense. But during the Super Bowl, you would not think that was happening nearly as much. Now, can you imagine you DVR anything and you're zipping through the commercials? How many people do you think actually pay attention? I was watching something on YouTube TV, and it was the last episode of Yellowstone. The first 3 were on Peacock, which is fine, no commercials. The last one, and they don't let you zip through the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
You throw things at the TV. We're so used to that now.
Yeah, just to clarify, they weren't. This research was not about the Super Bowl commercials.
It was just
people in general over the course of a year. Yeah, but people either leave the room or the younger folks. They found what they do is the second a commercial comes on that screen, they start looking at a different screen.
Yeah.
Oh, so DoorDash just renegotiated with McDonald's, and McDonald's got them to lower their commission fees for DoorDash orders from McDonald's. But DoorDash got a provision in the contract that says you will pay lower commissions if everything goes well. But if our driver has to wait too long, you will pay more commission to us than you were paying even before this new contract. They're basically going to punish McDonald's restaurants that take too long to fulfill DoorDash orders.
Yeah, well, what if the DoorDash people take too long? Are they punished for that?
That's the customer's problem.
Yes.
But no, to answer your point, will they refund your delivery fee or your service charge if the DoorDash driver's too slow? I don't think so.
What's the nicest thing your mom ever put in your lunchbox on your birthday?
I don't remember. A note saying happy birthday.
Right. Or maybe like a cookie.
To go buy lunch. Yeah.
Right. Okay. This mom, for her son's birthday lunch, gave him lobster, golden eating utensils, and other items in there. Like there was this beautiful card, looks like some cookies. And they say she put this on social media and said, "Hey friends, let me show you what I packed for my son's 9th golden birthday lobster."
So the kid likes lobster.
But because you're being, don't you understand? It was his golden birthday. You know what the golden birthday is, right? It's when the year you're turning is the same as the day you were born. So if you were born on the 7th, your 7th birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you were born on the 21st, your 21st, and so on. So it was his golden birthday. By the way, she's not doing this because she loves her kid so much. She puts everything on Instagram.
Yeah, this is her thing.
She is a self-styled Instagram influencer. So that's what this is about.
And I don't know, is she a real influencer? That's the other thing. At some point I want to do a story on that. At what point do you become an influencer? Is there a number of people that are following you? I don't know. That'd be kind of fun to figure that one out for sure. Yeah. Masks in class. We're changing everything around. Yes to masks, no to masks, partial masks, half masks. This is KFI AM 648 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The more you know, the easier it is to avoid the idiots around you.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
More mask talk. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The state's indoor mask mandate has expired, but California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley says that does not include students and teachers in schools.
We will continue to move according to the science, according to the information we have, to ensure that Californians are doing all we can to keep our schools safe for students, for staff, for families, and communities at large.
Galley says officials will reassess COVID-19 conditions on February 28th. He says the decision will be based on the overall picture. LA County will probably be able to lift its outdoor mask wearing requirement by midweek, thanks to another drop in the number of patients with COVID-19 in local hospitals. According to state figures, there were 2,054 COVID-positive patients in county hospitals yesterday. That's 32 less than Sunday. Well, the date of the Rams Super Bowl victory parade has been set, and it is tomorrow. Rams CEO Kevin Demoff tells the LA Times the parade will run through the Exposition Park area. It'll start at the Shrine Auditorium and end up at the LA Coliseum. A rally will take place in the plaza outside the stadium. Nurses picketing at the West Anaheim Medical Center say a chronic staffing shortage is impacting safe patient care. ER nurse Sophia Rivera says they need to get experienced nurses to even out the nurse-to-patient ratio.
There's been plenty of times where I didn't have a breakfast break. I didn't have a lunch break. We didn't have a float nurse. The charge nurse was taking on patients and doing triage. That is not safe.
West Anaheim Medical Center owner Prime Healthcare says all safety guidelines are being followed during the staffing shortage, which was caused by the pandemic. The LA County Fire Department says it will suspend firefighters who refuse to get vaccinated, but only after fire season slows down.
An intent to suspend letter was obtained by KFI News and tells the firefighter it was sent to they violated the county's vaccine mandate and registration protocols. This firefighter tells the A Warrior's Perspective podcast that he also got the letter.
It says, because of the department's current staffing crisis resulting from current COVID-19 surge, your 5-day suspension without pay will be served at a future date.
County fire officials say they're adhering to the performance management process as outlined by the county. One firefighter tells me they refused to register with the third-party vendor because of a data breach last summer that exposed hundreds of firefighters' medical information. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
Russia says some of its troops will return to base after they finish recent drills. The Russian Defense Ministry says troops in the areas near Ukraine have started to head back to their home stations. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says Russia invading Ukraine would not be good.
The price in human suffering, destruction and damage to European and global security is too high to contemplate.
Gutierrez says it could be a disastrous confrontation. And a man is shot at the campaign office for Louisville, Kentucky candidate for mayor. Craig Greenberg says he feels blessed to be alive after a man tried to shoot him at his campaign headquarters yesterday. Greenberg was working with 4 team members when a man walked up to the door. His team greeted him, and the man pulled out a gun and started shooting. The person closest to the door managed to shut it. The team then barricaded themselves in the office.
I'm shaken up. It was a surreal experience, and mostly right now, I just want to get home to my wife and sons and give them a hug.
A 21-year-old man was arrested. I've got your traffic on the 405 next.
In addition to his 2 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown at Super Bowl 56, the Rams' Odell Beckham Jr. may have picked up an injury, a torn ACL. And if so, it would be the second such injury to the same knee. The last one happened back in October of 2020, also in a game against the Bengals. Coach Sean McVay brought the sympathy and the praise for Beckham.
It made it a little bit more difficult. My heart goes out to him, but I love Odell. Really grateful for all the many contributions he made. We wouldn't be chance without him.
I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Refinancing your home sometimes makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. When interest rates are high and equity is low, it makes no sense. When interest rates are low and equity is high, now you're talking a different story. And equity is as high as it has been in years because of property values. The cost of money, interest rates, still ridiculously low. So it doesn't make sense to borrow against that equity, which makes you nothing, and then put the money to work. So you're paying 3%, and you can make 5%, remodel or college tuition, it doesn't matter. But money is so cheap, still, it makes all the sense in the world. And I'm going to suggest contacting HMS Capital, the only lender I know that actually encourages you to apply with other lenders at the same time. They're that confident they can get you the best deal. And I know because I've done 2 mortgages with these folks. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital Funding is a DBA of Golden Empire Inc. Payment ID number 2427. HMS Capital is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 4130360. Equal housing lender.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. The Dow is up 323, S&P up 52, NASDAQ up 254, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $4.71. Here's SoCal weather from KFI. A whole lot different than it was yesterday. We've got a wind advisory in effect, a high surf advisory in effect. Both start at 10 this morning. Cloudy conditions, even a slight chance of showers, and highs today will just be in the mid-50s to the mid-60s. Right now it's 59 in Irvine, 56 in Pasadena. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places like the 405.
You betcha. The section we're talking about now for the northbound 405 anyway, from Long Beach up to LAX at Crenshaw, past the 110, a couple of drivers have tangled there, and they're in lanes. It's getting a little slower now from before the 110, right around Maine. And once you get through the 110, once you get past Artesia Boulevard, if you headed to LAX, finally, it's in a little bit better shape. Now, good news for driving through Burbank. Last time around, I mentioned a problem. West 134 around Buena Vista, pickup in lane. That cleared. The West 134 is kind of slow, though, coming away from the 5 to the 170. And Newhall Pass, a couple of problems now. South 5 to the East 210. Somebody standing outside their car in the slow lane. Sounds dangerous to me. And a little farther east at Hubbard, bit of a homeless encampment fire. Be careful. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
Brought to you by Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
If you've ever ordered food for work, you understand it's different. There's so much more at stake. Whether it's a meeting, a client call, or lunch with the office, it has to arrive at the actual lunchtime. Food for work has to work. That's why there's EasyCater. Food that's on time and as ordered from over 82,000 restaurants. And if there's a problem, rare, you can reach someone in seconds. Thank you for calling EasyCater. Some food just doesn't work at work, but EasyCater just does. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com. Take a look at your legs. Are those veins twisty, bulgy, painful, and